Hey, this is Sam Black with Dredge in Modern. I'm on the play, and I have a workable hand here. Yeah, this will be fine. I'm going to keep, and I think I actually play Island and pass with this hand. I don't want to risk a removal spell on my Hedron Crab, and so I'm just gonna Island Crab, or Island Pass, and then next turn Crab fetch land. Probably fetch Blood Crypt, and then cast one of the red spells, which one will depend on what I draw and mill between now and then. This will work out slightly worse for me than playing the crab if I draw another crab, if my opponent didn't have removal. But I think it's a much better play all around. It'll also play badly against Thoughtseize or Inquisition, but that didn't happen to me. So we're going to play this, trigger this, targeting ourselves, and then we're going to respond with the Polluted Delta, because obviously I don't want to mill the land that I'm looking for. I will pay 2 life, and it'll target me again. And now, if I don't mill a Dredge card, I'll play the Insolent Neonate, so that I can discard and immediately dredge the Stinkweed Imp. If I do mill a Dredge card, I'll probably play the Faithless Looting so that I can just dredge it that way. So since I hit Stinkweed Imp, I think it's better to play the Faithless Looting. Although hitting Bridge from below points slightly toward Neonate, but I think Faithless Looting is more explosive here. So that's what I'm going to do. Hoping to hit another Dredge card, and I didn't, but that's okay. I'm going to discard Stinkweed Imp and Bloodghast. I think it's more important to get Bloodghast in my graveyard than to get another Dredger. And I'll pass. A land would be nice, but I think it's better to just dredge when I can. Yes, I will return this, of course. And that will trigger a Prized Amalgam. So now, because I have a Prized Amalgam coming, I know that any other Prized Amalgams that I find before that comes in will also come into play. So, let's start dredging to try to find some. There's a Golgari Grave Troll in my graveyard, so I can play this and dredge immediately. And I did not hit another dredge thing. That's okay. We'll just discard this, and then I'll be pretty well set up. Have another Narcomoeba coming into play. And that also triggers this amalgam that is coming in anyway. And I'll just play the Hedron Crab. Don't think it matters much one way or another. But I want, if my opponent plays a sweeper, I want to just have it die so that I get zombies from my Bridge from below. And that's just 2 triggers for the same Prized Amalgam because it had 2 delayed triggers set up from 2 different creatures getting returned. adjust my window here. Yes, no. Unfortunately, I've milled my mountain and drawn my island, and I don't have any other basics. Which is too bad, because getting blood guests in would be really nice. Ancestral Visions is still a ways away. Well, that's kind of threatening. I'm just gonna dredge this. I think dredging into Dakmar Salvage is one of my better ways to find a land if I really want to play a land. So now I'm just going to play Insolent Neonate. And sacrifice it, discarding this, make a zombie. Found another prized amalgam, but nothing to bring it back. Well, I can always bring it back with the Stitchwing Scab next turn. Now we'll see how much my opponent goes off with Monastery Mentor. These monk tokens do destroy my bridge from below. Yep, I will turn a crab into a zombie. That is a fine exchange. Alright, my graveyard is now too large for a single page, but there are 2 prized amalgams. And I'll attack with my Narcomoebas. I don't think I'm going to attack with the zombies. I want the bridge from below still. And I have milled my Dakmar Salvage, which means that I can dredge it and get my Bloodghasts back. And since my opponent is at 10, they'll have haste. So that can potentially help with a big attack. Lingering Souls is not great for me. Yep, path is expected. I'm surprised by this attack. I really wanted my opponent to attack so that I could block and get some bridge from blow triggers. Path and the Narcomoeba. Okay. Just saving time. Two more zombies. And now we dredge Dakmar salvage. Hit an Archamoeba. Play this and return all the blood ghasts. And now let's figure out what's going on. My opponent has 6 blockers. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attackers. So 6 blockers blocks these 3 and these 3. So I get through for 8. Alright, I think this is just lethal. So clearly, my opponent probably should not have attacked last turn. As it both gave me 2 more zombies, cost my opponent the path, using it on an Archamoeba instead of a 3-power creature that actually matters, and gave my opponent not enough blockers to live through this attack. So, I think this is a matchup where I don't want the green, which means I basically don't want to sideboard. I could bring in Leyline, but I don't think. Let's see. It's good against Jace, kind of, and Lingering Souls, and it protects bridges. It's not bad. don't think it's actually better than my other cards. I'm just going to present my starting 60 and let my opponent try to force me to sideboard differently, like demonstrate that they have cards that I need to respect. Need to think about this hand. And I need to adjust my little card thing. Alright, so I'm on the draw. This can get blue-red, and I can looting away some stuff and try to draw a land. Yeah, I can keep this. Discard some combination of Grave Troll, Bridge from Below, and Stitchwing Scab. That's another thing I'd like to discard. Alright, I found a fetch land, so that's good. Let's discard Grave Troll, and I think Prized Amalgam is the most important thing to get in my graveyard as soon as possible, so that it will come back if I find an Archimeva or Bloodghast. Yeah, it's definitely correct to discard those two. That's not great for me. I think extracting the Prized Amalgam might have been even worse. It's hard to say. Yeah, because I have the Hedron Crab to fill my graveyard. So, I think I'm more reliant on Prized Amalgam than Golgari Grave Troll. So I'll play Crab, and I'll play Bloodstained Mire, and of course, once again, I'll use it in response to the Crab's ability. Looks like I'm getting pathed here. At least I get a land. I think I should get blue-black. And I will pay 2 life. And I hit a Stinkweed Imp. I have an extra one of these, so I'll play the one that I'll play this one. They're relatively mana intensive to use. Timely reinforcements, that's fine. Dredge this thing, hit an Archimeva and another Stinkweed Imp. So now, before I play a land, I want to dredge more so that I can play a land and return Bloodghast. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? I think I want to sacrifice Narcomoeba, even though it has flying, and discard Bridge from Below. No, before I sacrifice things. Alright, I changed my mind about getting Bloodghast back. I think it's more important to use Faithless Looting before sacrificing a creature so that I can get Bridge from Below in my graveyard so that I can get a zombie off the Drowned Ursalka. Which means that I want to cast Faithless Looting with a blue untapped, so I'm going to play the mountain. Dredge, Stinkweed Imp. Dredge, Stinkweed Imp. Discard Bridge from Below. And discard Stitchwing Scab. No. Discard Stinkweed Imp first. Trigger these things. And now I don't want my opponent to do something about my bridges, so I'm going to use this thing now. Get a bunch of bridge triggers. And I have a Stinkweed Imp in my graveyard, so I guess I'll discard the Scab. And I can always dredge the deck more salvage later once I actually find Bloodghast, so I'll dredge the Stinkweed Imp first. A bunch of random triggers happen, and in the end I get 2 Prized Amalgams. Alright. Maybe should have done something in my upkeep here, but that's okay. Oh, well, there are 2 Bloodghasts. Okay. Now let's... I think I'd just attack with 2 Narcomoebas first. Actually, I'm just going to play Dakmar Salvage and return the Bloodghasts, and I might even just pass the turn. Yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn. I want to see what my opponent does. Like, playing around a sweeper is very different from not playing around a sweeper, for example. Path of Prized Amalgam. I will respond to that in a very profitable way. I will sacrifice it, trigger a bunch of bridges. Discard a Stinkweed Imp, and dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Trigger Narcomoeba, and now I have the Prized Amalgam set to come back. They won't come back now, they'll come back at the end of my opponent's turn, which is kind of the perfect time for them to come back. It means that if this Prized Amalgam dies before then, it will come back also. So if my opponent wraths because we're on their turn, No, I think I control all the bridge triggers. I think I just get a bunch of zombies, but I'm not completely sure about that. But that's my recollection of how these things work. Either way, I'd get a bunch of prized amalgams and stuff. Alright, let's start by returning this thing. No. Let's start by sacrificing I guess just a bloodghast, something to make a bunch of zombies. And I think I want to keep blue mana up, so I won't return Destroying Scab. Things are going well enough that I just don't want to put my Activate Drown Resilka shields down. I'll dredge Dark Blast. Be a little conservative about my milling. I'll just attack with everything and assume my opponent's probably dead. Interesting. I don't think that matters. It might buy a turn, but it definitely generates a lot of zombies for me in the meantime. I don't think I want to use this thing. Well, I guess I can use it and not dredge. Sure. We could do another one of those. Now I have a very large number of zombies. And now the bridge from below is going to go away. Well, the bridge from belows are all going to go away. The bridges from below, I don't know. Alright, so whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard, if it's... Right. Are these all the same? No. Okay, I see. I want to stack Exile first. So now the situation is that my opponent needs a sweeper, and if my opponent has a sweeper, it doesn't really accomplish anything because I get all my bloodghasts back, and I also get all my prized amalgams back with the Stitchwing Scab. Though I guess it's wrong to be doing what I'm doing right now and putting everything into play in a technical sense, because my opponent could theoretically have Hollowed Burial, but I'm just going to assume that's not actually a thing that would happen. Alright, now I'm just going to attack for a very large amount of damage. Still quite a bit of damage. Yep, that's quite a bit of damage.